again, I think there's only two ways out of it for April.
Yeah.
Either she lives there and she can challenge it as, hey, this is a lawful
Mhm.
search of my stuff, or she doesn't live there, which doesn't give her thing to challenge this, but then we give her the ability to say none of this stuff was mine, it was all there. So, and
Oh,
I
I
think,
agree.
and I'm assuming if her lawyer, well,
Mhm.
let's just keep it real. I'm assuming Nick is probably paying for her thing. Again, assumption, or
Sure.
helping her,
Sure.
or she's still living there.
Yeah.
Because if she was my client, the first thing is they weren't your drugs. You were in their
Mhm.
house. You were a visitor there.
Mhm.
Whatever you need to
But-
say on the stand, you say it on the stand. Just, hey,
Yeah.
I was there. I don't know nothing about drugs. I was that type of
But-
thing, right? Doesn't
but-
that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. So Nick indicated that April was at the home visiting. And this is from Nick and April's statement of probable cause.
Okay.
So Nick already said, hey, she's visiting. Now, this part here, it's a little different because they have different, the probable cause statements don't match. They're not as in depth. So they're saying at the Candioi County Jail, Nick was again read his Miranda rights and agreed to speak without an attorney. Okay.
Mhm.
So he says a master bedroom. He says April Imholt was a friend who was visiting the house and does not live at the residence. Once again, Nick says the same thing.
Okay.
Now, then it becomes an issue of, well, Kayla says she's the live-in nanny, but who exactly did she say it to? Because in the statement for April, she says it to the children's service workers, which I think opens, and Kurt is right. It's a hearsay issue.
That
at
is
that
that
point.
would be a hearsay issue.
But I think there's ways, because here is the statement from April's probable cause statement. And she told the CPS workers that April Imholtz her live-in nanny. Now, depending on how she said it, it could have been effect on here, presence on suppression. Those are all those are the catch-alls prosecutors
But
usually rely on.
That's coming in for the truth of the matter, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I know.
You're trying-
And
I understand you're trying to get around it, but you are offering it for the truth.
I know.
This is some rubbish.
But
Because
Nate,
it's
you'll know this
suppression
doing
BS.
defense work. What do courts do sometimes? I'll allow it.
I'll allow. What? No. This is bullshit.
Yeah, but they will allow it sometimes. Yeah.
I do. I think the attorney strategy is sound now based on what you guys have just said, because I think they've thrown out the strategy of her challenging a search warrant because that's not going anywhere, especially after Nick just got torn down with the search warrant. So you challenge probable cause as basis to her, and I'm thinking the only way you could honestly do that is to say, I was a guest. I just walked into the house. I was drinking some, not Coca-Cola, but Pepsi, because you want to stay away from the word Coke. And sitting down on the couch, cops come in, busted, arrest me, and I had nothing to do with it. That's the probable cause that she's going to attack. That's the way
I
she
think
would
so.
attack it. And I'm assuming if her lawyer was smart, you would say, well, and you'll cooperate with the authorities, because she doesn't have to give Nick up. She could just say, I was there, I was, talking to them, blah, 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 and the cops raided the place. The drugs were found in his bedroom. I was never in there. That.
Yeah, but she was found there. They found her in the bedroom.
Oh, she was found in the bedroom.
Yeah, that's part of the issue here.
Near the Coke.
Yeah, because when you go back up here, let's see here.
Making it hard for me. You're making it hard on a player right now. I thought she was good.
Kayla and April were found in the master bedroom. Right next to her credit cards with Coke all over them, next to all the stuff with cocaine on it, in the same room with that big pile of cocaine. So that gives her some issues. Yeah.
That does give you some issues. Well, it gives you issues in the sense of, damn. And her cards were found. The cocaine was found with her credit cards, right?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's now you're talking. It just sounds so much like a jury question. It could go either way. She could win this. To be fair, people. There's an argument here that could be won. But I think right now you got a lot of probable cause. If your cards are there, you're in the same room with cocaine.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to say. And you're the live-in nanny, but you're really not the live-in nanny. And then you're having this. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, no. I think that's ultimately the problem there. Is what are you going to get out of this? And that's why I think a problem for. I think she can beat. I don't think she'll beat the probable cause, because remember, probable cause, guys. It's that 25-30% sure. You don't have to be that sure for probable cause. Is it beyond a reasonable doubt? I think you're gonna have to convince a jury my credit cards that are probably going to be, and I don't know if the police have checked to make sure they were valid. Because if they were old expired credit cards, then you could argue, yeah, I didn't have them. Nick got a hold of them somehow.
Yeah.
But if they're actually valid and they could, and what they could do is they could subpoena her credit card records. When did you use this card last? 5 minutes ago. She was on Amazon buying something with it. It's going to be really hard to say those aren't mine. That really, she can make the arguments, but juries are normal people, and normal people are hard to bullshit at times. Sometimes you can do it though.
But to be fair, though, this is going to be a question of law for the judge about whether we move forward. Essentially,
yes, and this one is
and I think in that this is where she, out of all three of them, I think she has the best case in getting this dropped before she's going to trial. I think she has the best opportunity of a plea deal of something very, very light. And I think she does, and I thought she has the best opportunity of getting dismissed. Nick and Kayla, I think, are just done. They just, unless they can get the unless they can get the warrant thrown out, they're done.
Yeah, and they won't.
And I'm for sure Nick is essentially done. Nick is done. So I honestly think their best option now. I think April has a shot. I think April should fight, but if she loses, I think the best possible scenario here is one person has got to just take the fall. One person, because think about it.
I don't know how you're going to get just one person to take the fall because Nick says, "Hey, it's our house. April and I live together in our room."
I'll tell you exactly how Nick does it. It's just like when you're a defense attorney. You know when a gun is found and then we'll charge both people with the gun and somebody's gonna say it's my gun and then the other person walks. That's what's gonna have to happen here. That was my cocaine for my personal use. I left it out. They had nothing to do with it, and I'll testify to that even in their trials. They walk. When somebody does and then that's it. You get it's a 3-for-1.
I don't disagree with you, but now you forgot about the. This trio used to be a quartet.
That's true.
And here's the thing. Yes, Nick's going to have to be the one that does it because we have video of Nick hitting the slopes.
Yeah.
So April, Kayla jumping in, it's like, but we have proof he was doing it literally the night before. So, and here's the thing. Is Nick going to take the heat? No, Nick's never going to take a knee. Nick's never going to fall for it. So what do you do with it? There's no, like Nick could try to do the right thing here. But the prosecutor might say, screw you guys. I know this is all nonsense. I got Aaron right here. Let's bring him in. And Aaron's going to admit, we were all doing coke.
I would, but Aaron is a horrible witness. He could say, he was all doing coke, but I'll be bringing up, and he was the one doing that. He's got the revenge porn. He's got it's like he's not the easiest witness to say.
No, he's not. He's not. But does that make his statement more likely or less likely that it happened?